Now this is grade 12, mathematical literacy. We shall be looking at what we call measurements. Measurements. All right. When we look at measurements, we shall be expecting to be looking at what we call area. We shall look at perimeter. Then from there, we shall look at volume. We shall look at surface area. Surface area. All right. Simple terms, I'll start by defining. Area is space covered by a 2D surface. You can call it a 2D shape. The space that is covered by a 2D shape, we call it area. Then when we look at perimeter, this will be the total distance around a given 2D shape. Then volume is the space that a 3D object occupies. Whereas total surface area is the total area of all surfaces that make a given 3D shape. All right, when we look at these factors, area, perimeter, volume, and surface area, first and foremost, let's take note that area and perimeter, these are for 2D shapes, whereas volume and surface area is for 3D. Here we look at faces, and here we look at what we call objects. All right. Shall start with a normal factor. In doing all this, we shall need to learn also how to convert. We shall learn how to convert. To convert, someone might call it conversions, simply meaning we shall need to change one unit, to change from one unit to another unit. Another unit. All right. Then we have two systems, which we call, where one is called the metric, and we have the imperial. For example, under distance or length metric, we look at kilometer, meters, then we look at centimeters and millimeters. This is length. Whereas here we look at miles, we look at yards, we look at feet, and we look at inches. All right. We shall expect you to remember this, but this will be always what? Provided. All right. It will be always provided. All right. Under metric, what I want you to remember is that so easy. For example, if you're converting kilometers, you need them to become meters. Afterwards, we change to centimeters, or we change to millimeters. As long as you're tending towards your right-hand side, you will always multiply. But if you're from the left, which is millimeters, centimeters, to meters, to kilometers, you'll always divide. In other words, if you don't know what to do, please always write this down. km, m, cm, mm. So in between these two, we have 1,000. These two, we have 100. And this, we have 10. They will go on reducing. 1,000 becomes 100, 100 becomes 10. All right. That simply means if you're to change kilometers to meters, you will need to multiply by 1,000. Then if you're to change meters to centimeters, you multiply by 100. As you change centimeters to millimeters, you need to multiply by 10. This has to be in your head. Always remember this, please. Always remember this. Okay. An example. Convert 748 kilometers to meters. So this will mean 748 kilometers times 1,000. And the answer will become 748,000. Don't forget the units. These will be meters. This is example 1. So this is example 1. Example 2, you might be asked to change 687 millimeters. They want them to become centimeters. So since, take note, the millimeter is from left to, sorry, it's from right to left. So you need to divide. So here in your end, you're going to know, we're going to divide by 10. Here, we are supposed to multiply by 1,000. So it becomes 678 millimeters divided by 10. The answer becomes 68.7 centimeters. All right. One more example. For number 3, let's convert 5,872 millimeters. We want them to become meters. All right. Someone might ask us, how come millimeters to meters? It's so simple also. Simply meaning you're going to move from millimeters. First and foremost, you'll go to centimeters. Afterwards, you'll go to meters. That's what it simply means. Are we there? So from millimeters to centimeters, we are going to divide by 10. Then to become centimeters. So from centimeters to meters, we shall divide by 1,000. Okay, let's start with our step number 1, millimeters to centimeters become but the answer you get now is a centimeters. So centimeters, we need to change them to meters. We divide it by 100. The answer becomes But for someone who has seen it straightforward, the same as getting 5,872 millimeters, we divide it by 1,000. How do you get the 1,000? It's this 10 here multiplies with this 100. You get 1,000. So straightforward, your answer becomes 5,82. Don't forget the units. That's how we convert that. Let's do one more. All right. We said we have two methods or systems of converting. We said we have metric and imperial. Let's do examples concerning imperial. Imperial, they will always give you a table. Let's take this table here. We have, it's from metric to imperial, and it's 1 centimeter is equivalent to 0,3937 inches. Symbol for inches, we can say, those we put 2 quotes. Then we go to the second one, which says 1 meter is equivalent to 1,0936. These are yards. Shortcut for yards, it's YD. Go to the third one, which is 1 kilometer is equivalent to 0,6214 miles. Shortcut for miles, it can be MI. These are miles. These are miles. Then we go to the other question, which says 1 meter. This other conversion says 1 meter equivalent to 3,2808. These are feet. As I said, this will always be provided to you. This table here, it will always be provided to you. It might not be as big as this, or it might not be as small as this. All right, allow me name these ones, we call them conversion factors. Allow me name them, which is A, I have B, I have C, and D. It's A, B, C, D. We have 4 of them, but it might go beyond that. Anyway, I will start straight away with examples. This say convert but 3,7 meters to yards. My dear friend, what you're going to do, number one, first and foremost, take note. You pick the factor that you're going to use. Here we have meters versus yards. When we come to your conversion factor here, we have it as B. So in B, it says if you have 1 meter, you have an equivalence of 1,0936 yards. So for you have 3, so it will become 3,7 meters equals to a certain number that we don't know. Allow me call it B. So this one multiplied, but one will multiply with B. And this 3,7 will multiply with this. So this becomes comma. So the answer here will become answer will become because 1 B times 1 will remain with B. So our unknown equals to 4,04632. Remember, these are yards. Why do we say yards? Because our B that we are looking for is on the side of B, is on the side of yards. All right, let's do another example here. They want us to change 650 yards. We want them to become meters. Still, we shall use the factor. Remember, how do you pick the factors? You look at what you have and what you want to change to. So here we have meters. Here we have yards. Still, you're using B. So this B says if you have 1 meter, you have an equivalence of you have an equivalence of 1,0936 yards. So for you, we are looking for meters. This is what is missing. All right. Here we have a big question mark. Something is missing. So for us, we have yards. We want them to become. Please take the unit. So what's missing is supposed to be in meters. What we have, it's in here. That's why I say I've put yards on one side and meters on the other side. So what do? I cross multiply. So 1,0 it multiplies with this number here that is here. We don't know it. Let me leave it as a box. Simply meaning when it multiplies, we shall get the answer as 1 times 650 remain with 650. Because you're looking for this box, we shall divide through by. Divide through by. So the answer becomes is meters. All right, let's continue with another. Let's continue with another example. It's here. You might be asked to change meters. You want them to become inches. So when you take note, you're changing 1,8 meters to inches. But when the inches we have, they correspond with centimeters. What has to come in your head is that change 1,8 meters, change them to centimeters. How do you change meters to centimeters? We multiply by 100. So I'll take my 1,8 times 100. Why am I doing this? Because the conversion I'm going to use, which is A, It has centimeters and inches. It does not have meters and inches. So I change my 1,8 multiply by 100. I end up having 180 centimeters. So now we have be turned into centimeters. I'm good to go. So my equation says if I only have 1 centimeter, it's going to give me 0,3. Wait a little bit. Okay. The answer is 180. These are centimeters. But my equation from here, A, says if I have 1 centimeter, I have 0,39. So I'll say 1 centimeter gives me 0,3937 inches. But then what about if I have 180? What will it equal to? We don't know. What shall we do? Cross multiply. So 1 multiplies the C, you remain with a C, which equals to 180 times 0,3937. So my answer here is supposed to be 70,8. These are inches. So in summary, we had to change meters to centimeters. Then afterwards, we change to inches. Why do we do this? Because the factor that we have, we don't have any that corresponds to meters and inches. We have centimeters and inches. All right, we'll do one more example. Example D. Example D, we might have a question that says change we have 240 feet. We want them to become yards. This is imperial to imperial. It's fine. But we're going to use the same table that we have. When we look at our table that we have here, we do not have any equation that will help us get feet to yards or yards to feet. So what we're going to do, we have feet, meters and meters and yards. You see that? So in simple terms, we shall ask ourselves, so simply meaning this will be, in summary, it simply means we are going to change from feet to meters, then from meters to yards. Okay. So let's start and we shall say, we shall start by taking D, which says 1 meter is equivalent to 3,2808 feet. For you have 240 feet. So what is it? Don't know. Cross multiply. My friend, whenever you multiply a number with a letter in your head, just know that you're going to divide. What are you going to divide? We are going to divide 240 divided by the number that we have. Which is 73, these are meters now. So now, remember we said feet to meters. Now we are here. We need to move to yards. Go back to our table. We ask ourselves, which one are we going to use? We're using part B, which says, if you have 1 meter, you have an equivalence of 1,0936 yards. So in other words, for you have 730.5 meters. What do you have in yards? I will call it Q. So another thing I would like to teach you, should the number you're going to change, should it be adjacent or opposite the one you have for one is equivalent to something? Then simply meaning you're going to multiply these two numbers. This one, it was opposite. The letter was opposite, so we divided. These two numbers, these ones are opposite each other, so we're going to multiply, which becomes 3, that much. So 70. Yeah, we have the answer as 8. But now there are 8 what? Yards. These are 80 yards. All right, let's look at mass, which is the same as weight. We look at conversions. We have mass measured in kilograms, that's metric. All right, then imperial to might be ounce or pounds. So the same thing applies to mass. We shall say a G. We don't have cm, but you can just put it there for calculations. And we have m. So what is in between these two? It's 1,000. And these two it's 100. And between that, or you can remove the cm and you make it 1,000. So for you, this simply means 1 kilogram has 1,000,000 milligrams, whereas the same 1 kilogram has 1,000 grams, and the same gram has 1,000 milligrams. You understand? So remember we said big to small, we multiply, whereas small to big, we need to divide. Don't forget this. PSM, SBD. These ones here, big to small, multiply, small to big, divide. All right, example. Convert 1.8 kg to grams. So you're from big, this is big, kilograms are bigger than grams. You're going to the small end. So which is big to small, you're going to multiply. So this will become 1.8 times 1,000. Why am I multiplying by 1,000? Because I saw between kg and g, we have 1,000. So here we do that, and we end up having the answer as, don't forget the unit. Let's convert. So still we are changing 750,000 grams to milligrams. So we are grams to milligrams, we are still changing from big to small. We are going to multiply, which will become 750 million what? Milligrams. Milligrams. All right. Still, when it comes to volume in terms of capacity, we shall do the same. KL, L. This will be the same, whereby you have 1,000 liters, then 1,000 milliliters. Same story as has happened up there. So simply meaning if you have 2 liters, you have 2,000 mils either. And you take note, other part that you need to know is that 1 cup will be always 250 mils, 1 tablespoon, it's 15 mils, and 1 teaspoon is 5 mils. That's how we measure. That's how we shall do this. This has to be in your head also. Same applies to this. These have to be in your head. You need to remember them as this is metric. You won't be reminded about it. Okay. Another thing about weight, there's one that we call a ton. A ton is equivalent to 1,000 kilograms. 1 ton is equivalent to 1,000 kilograms. Simply meaning 1 ton has 1,000,000 grams and it has a billion milligrams. That's it. All right, let's take examples in weight. Examples in weight, which is metric to imperial. Don't worry about this. They will never ask you to remember this. It will be always provided in a table. For example, I have 1 gram is equivalent to 0.0352 ounce. Short form for ounce to be that. Then we have 1 kilogram equivalent to 2,2046 pounds. The short form for pounds, it's LB. All right, here we go. Example, they are telling us to change 4,9. We need to convert to pounds, which will become 4,9. Definitely we shall use B. Factor B, which says if you only have 1 kilogram, you have an equivalence of 2,2046 pounds. So cross multiply. I told you the number which is missing, it will go. Remember, put the units in the same side. So this will become 4,9 times 2,2046. Which becomes 10,81 kg. Sorry, pound, not kg. You're from kg, you cannot change kg to kg. It's pounds. It's pounds. Okay, another example. So that's example A. Example B. Example B, we are told to change 21 ounce to grams. So we shall use factor A. But then when you look at factor A, it says if you only have 1 gram, you have an equivalence of 0,0. In this scenario, you already see that these are ounce. They are on one side. The grams are on the other side. So we ask ourselves, if one produces this much ounce, what about the 21 ounce? How many grams will they produce? So here, as it is, you're going to divide. Look at that. 21 divided by 0,0352. The answer here becomes 596, comma, these are grams. The last one, let's change 62 pounds to ounce. The factors that we have, they only equate grams to ounce and kilograms to pounds. Already these are pounds. So in your summary, we need to know that we shall need to change pounds to kilograms, then kilograms to grams. Afterwards, we shall change to ounce. Why do I say this? Because pounds are equivalent to kilograms, whereas grams are equivalent to ounce. So let's do that, and we shall start by using factor B, which says if you have 1 kilogram, you have an equivalence of 2,2046 pounds. So for us, we have 62 pounds. We want them to become kilograms. Said cross multiply. So this will be 62 divided by 2, take note, I told you what number multiplies with the unknown. That means you're going to divide. If the 62 was this side, we are not going to divide, it will be straightforward. Okay, answer we get here, this will be kilograms. 62 divided by 2,2046, you end up having 28,12. These are kilograms. So kilograms to grams, we need to multiply by 1,000. And what do we end up having? End up having these are grams together. So now we go back here. It says if you have 1 gram, you have 0.2 ounce. So for us, we have more than 1 gram. That means we're going to multiply by the 0.023. And your answer will be ounce. All right. I would advise you to familiar yourself with such equations. These were conversions. These were conversions. A crane can lift a maximum load of 3,5 tons if a container weighs 6,820 pounds, will the crane be able to lift this container? So the only way to understand this is to bring out this. They have told you the load has to be 3,5 tons. But in your head, you know very well that now this is tons. How do you change it to kilograms? Change it to kilograms, multiply by 1,000. Remember, I told you 1 ton is equivalent to 1,000 kilograms. So 3,5 tons times 1,000. We get 3,5 kilograms. So this crane can accept, or the crane can lift 3,500 kilograms. But now the load that it's going to take, it's in pounds. Together, the load that's going to be taken is in pounds. Remember, we told you that if you have 1 kilogram, you have an equivalence of 2,2046 pounds. See? So we need to change the kilograms to pounds because the container weighs 6,820 pounds. So we need to know whether it will be okay for it to carry. So what you're going to do, you're going to carry this and it becomes multiply 2 comma multiply all right, then we change the pounds to kilograms. Sorry, let's change the kilograms for the crane to pounds and we equate it with this. So when we multiply the 3,500 kilograms, we want them to become pounds. We shall end up having 7,716.1. These are pounds. So when you verse this, don't forget to conclude the crane. You'll say the crane will lift the container. Why? Because the container weighs less than what the crane requires. One more example. The example says calculate the cost of 0.25 pounds of gold if gold costs 13,070 rands 58 cents per ounce. All right, what I want you to take note of, the cost of 0.25 pounds, and the cost is charged per ounce. So the gold has to change into ounce. This is what we are going to do. Remember we said now we have pounds, they equate to kilograms. Then ounce equate to grams. So you cannot change kilograms to ounce straight away. You need to first change them to grams. And afterwards we shall change them to ounce. That's the trick. Why? We need to know the cost. Anyway, the first starting step is we shall say 1 kilogram equals to 2,2046 pounds. But for you don't have you have 0.2, so this is 0.25 pounds. They have to be, so we are looking for a quarter pound. What would it be? So it's 0.25 divided by 'So here we end up, because the answer you get is going to be in kilograms. So you have 0.25 divided by 2,2046. So it's 0,1134. These are kilograms. Change them to grams by multiplying by 1,000. Multiply by 1,000, 113,4. These are grams. So these grams, I want them to become ons. So remember that if you only have 1 gram, if you have 1 gram, you have an equivalence of 0,0352. These are what? Ons. 1 gram produces this much. What about if you have that much gram? 9 much grams. So we end up having which is approximately 4 ons. Okay. So now we say we have ons now. So remember, the question was determine the cost of this much. So we've changed the 0,25 pounds equivalent to 3,99 ounces altogether. So we need to know how much will it be, because now the cost will be these ounces that you've got here. Let me remove the 4. The cost will equal to 3,99 times 13,070. It will cost 52,151, 61 cents. That's how we look at weights.